He is telling the truth. He was talking about what he knew, and if you look what efforts this government, I mean the government I'm heading, has been trying to do. We campaign on three things: security, economy, employment mostly, and then fighting corruption. And what was being uncovered since we came in proved that he was right.
So what have you uncovered?
Pardon?
What have you uncovered in terms of corruption in the country?
What have we uncovered?
What is the scale of corruption in Nigeria?
It's enormous, and I decided to comprehensively address Nigerians on the 29th of May. And this one I will reveal some of the details. But other details we have to wait for proper documentation that will lead us, hopefully, to successful prosecution.
So people will be going to jail in Nigeria if
yes.
they're involved in corruption?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We just have to do it. I think we have talked enough about it. It's high time some action is taken so that Nigerians will begin to believe us.
The suggestion is that a lot of that money that has been siphoned off illegally from the public purse in Nigeria has ended up here in London and other European capitals. What are you doing to try and get that money back?
Well, the system here and in America, we have to produce the evidence. The evidence, maybe we have to get through their financial institutions, through their shipping lines, evidence that leads that Nigerian property like crude has been stolen. Instead of proper documentation, the amount has been changed at the high seas or was taken to a different country altogether, and then the amounts credited to a bank other than the Nigerian federal government account. So it will take time, but we are determined to get as much of the documentation done.
I mean, British people watching this, and indeed donors around the world, will be wondering, well, if you admit, and everyone admits, that Nigeria is corrupt, that there are problems with corruption in the country, then why should donors continue to give the country aid? I mean, British people give £241 million every year in aid money to Nigeria.
Yes, you must accept the fact, as we have just discussed, Britain knows that there are corrupt institutions in Nigeria, but they never stopped helping Nigeria. What they try to do, they are still trying to do, is to make sure that they minimize the impact on corruption on their contribution towards building the infrastructure and sustaining it in Nigeria.
Because a lot of the money that should be used to do that is actually disappearing from the country.
Well, part of it.
Let
me put it part of it. Because British, with their experience, not forget, we got our independence in 1960. So even before Nigeria took charge of their own country, the British were already in Nigeria. And all this time they must have gathered some experience. So if they are building infrastructure, they will have an idea of its cost, the time it will take, and so on and so forth. So they are capable of minimizing the corruption in the system. And that's what they are doing.